What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Seattle Mariners postgame recap. Not going to mess around too much. I'm just going to dive into this one right away. If you can like, comment, subscribe, all three help out tremendously. And thank you all for the support for the channel as always. Just awful for the Seattle Mariners, awful performance. We can point to a few players specifically for sure, but just they after that rough series in Houston to finish up the road trip, they come home, they win game one of this series, and you feel pretty good. It felt like a nice little bounce back after that tough one in Houston. Got kind of the bad taste out of our mouth a little bit, and you felt good that you can find a way to win one of the next two here, and then just two terrible performances back to back. I know this one ended up being kind of close in terms of getting to extra innings, but I'm sorry, it's still just a dreadful performance from this team that is shifting so much back into what we've seen this team consistently be. And I'm kind of done saying these series happen. The reason I can say in the past is the team was playing really good ball. Well, we all know you are not going to win every single series in baseball, but a series like this is just beyond frustrating with this team, and seeing that the bats continue to be lifeless, and then not being able to capitalize with runners in scoring position or even move a runner over and get a sac fly. Tons of blame to go around. I thought Randy Arozarena was atrocious tonight. Awful. Absolutely awful. Colin Snyder probably pitched what quite honestly might have been the worst inning I've ever seen a pitcher throw in baseball. I don't know if I've ever seen four or five, I don't know how many it was, baseballs hit that hard to the same spot. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. I've seen pitchers give up 7 runs in an inning, and there's been some hard hit balls. But usually when you give up that many runs in an inning, there's a lot of BABIP. There's a lot of just things that kind of drop in on you. Everything was crushed. Yeah, Tavares had some weird angles on some of them, but those balls were all hit like 399 feet at 110 exit velo. So I'm not going to have much sympathy that Tavares didn't make those catches. Going back to Randy, at bat with the bases loaded, bottom of the 6th, swings through 3 fastballs, strikes out. And honestly, I can forgive that one a little bit. I came into this game not very optimistic. When they were losing 2-0, in fact, the kind of conversation I was going to have was going to be more focused on yesterday. This is why yesterday's game is frustrating. This is why George Kirby's performance is frustrating. This is why the offense is frustrating, getting shut down by Trevor Williams. Because Mackenzie Gore is really good. Those guys are gonna beat you, regardless of what you think of this Nationals team. When they have a pitcher like that, we talk about all the time with the Mariners when they had Felix, right? Like you can't really complain when those guys are shutting you down. But then they end up tying it up, and then they just get destroyed in a battle of the bullpens, and the Nationals offense proves to be the more competent unit in this series. But yeah, going back to Randy, obviously the bases loaded, that bat in the 6th inning was awful. But then in the 8th inning, Julio's hit by the pitch, and I know he stayed in, but you also didn't have anybody else in the game to come or on the bench to come in. Garver was the only option, so I wouldn't be shocked if Julio's out tomorrow. I'm sure he'll get that wrist or hand or wherever it hit him looked at, but I would not be shocked at all if Julio's not in the lineup tomorrow. So he ends up getting to second on a gutsy stolen base with the injury. Cal walks. Cal had a line drive down the right field line, and it is, I will say, even in games like this, you do see the small margin of error in baseball. If Cal's ball down the right field line goes 3 feet to the left, Mariners probably do win this baseball game, crazy enough, but it didn't. Cal walks, and then Randy first pitch pops up. I'm not mad that Miles Mastroboni and Rowdy Tellez didn't come through against lefties. That's not their MO. That's not where they're going to succeed. Now you can blame, the front office for putting the roster together or something. That's fine. But I'm not going to blame them in those situations for not coming through. Randy Arozarena's got to be better. If you at least got to move the runners over, and I'm not asking him to bunt. I get Randy probably hasn't bunted in 5 years or since high school or something, but you've got to put up a better at bat than that and pop out on the first pitch. And what you do there is, I guarantee everyone on the Nationals, okay, now we just got to get a double play ball, a couple grounders, a pop up, a fly out, something, and we're just out of this inning. When you got first and second, nobody out, the nerves are running because, man, even a slow hit grounder, no matter where, is going to advance runners over. Then a sac fly is going to beat us. We got to move the infield in. Then one gets over and we lose the game. So it just puts more pressure on. But a pop up, and then you just got to have a tough lefty get Mastroboni and Rowdy Tellez out, and the inning's over. Awful at bat from Randy. And I'm not mad at guys when they swing at first pitches and stuff like that, because if they swing at a first pitch and hit one 450 feet, no one's complaining. So it's not so much like, oh, why do you swing at the first pitch, or why do you take this pitch? It's just the at bat as a whole. It's not when he swung, but he did swing at the first pitch and he pops it up and does nothing. So if you're going to do that, you got to do some damage on it. Just awful, terrible at bat. And then, I mean, again, with Snyder in the 10th, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. I mean, that was just miserable. There wasn't a single ball that wasn't crushed off of him. I mean, Bell's home run, everybody else in the lineup hit one to left field, and then you got Leote jumping all over the place. Again, I'm not going to get on Taveras there. That's on Snyder for giving up fly balls that far. Just kind of adds to the misery of it there. And, it's again, like, they battle back. They get a couple runs, getting down 2-0. JP Crawford gets ejected in this game on the terrible call by Andy Fletcher, but Fletcher was terrible. I wonder if something happened when he got hit there. The foul ball came back and got him, because, man, after that, he was all over the place. The Nationals barking at him, the Mariners. I'm not sure how Jorge Lopez didn't get ejected, but JP did. Probably because JP is a batter and he's in the umpire's face, whereas Lopez is further away on the mound, so it doesn't get noticed as much. I would venture to say that's probably the main reason why Lopez didn't get ejected. Doesn't matter. And listen, JP had every right to be frustrated. Terrible, terrible call. I don't think it changed the game necessarily. JP still allowed it to get to 2 strikes with a couple bad swings, or, didn't make contact with the ball. They still had runners at the corners in that situation. And then Julio strikes out. Cal does walk, and then Randy strikes out with the bases loaded. So both can be true, right? Terrible call. It impacted the game because you took that at bat away from JP, but we also don't know what would have happened going forward there if JP would have gotten on base or not. He may have struck out on the next pitch. Gore is really good. I would also venture to say that's why you don't need to call that pitch, because Gore is really good. He doesn't need to get a pitch 2-3 inches, 4, whatever it was, off the plate. So, and then unfortunately the JP ejection kind of messes you up later on in the game. Again, I don't blame JP for being frustrated, but then you're stuck with, Rivas has to come in. So now you got Rivas batting in crucial situations. Now you have to have Mastroboni and Tellez because you have nobody left on the bench. And you got Jorge Polanco bunting again. If he is hurt and can't swing it, then just put him on the injured list. He's been awful in May. Awful. Great April. I still think he can help the team a little bit. I think we clearly saw enough in April with the bat to know that there's something in there. But, I mean, I don't think the guy's done much in, again, May. I mean, I think his OPS is in 300s in May, and it's not like it's May 9th. May is over this weekend. I mean, I don't know what to do there. And I'm assuming Garver has to be sick or hurt or something. Not that I'm begging for Mitch Garver at bats, but if Polanco is going to be bunting and can't do it from the right side, again, at least maybe there's a chance Garver runs into one in that situation. And then, and it's a shame because, Emerson Hancock, again, I think throws the ball pretty well tonight. Did a good job. I didn't really have a problem with Dan taking him out when he did. I know he's not even at 70 pitches. You've got a lefty masher and James Wood coming up there. And then after Wood was low, and then Ruiz is a switch hitter. Garcia's a lefty. So I don't have a problem. Gabe Spire's been outstanding. It was first and second with 1 out. Hancock was losing a bit of command of the strike zone. And Dan went to a lefty that's been really good. Don't have a problem with that. It just unfortunately didn't work. There's a scenario where you leave Hancock in and it doesn't work too. So just because it doesn't work doesn't mean I think it was a bad call. In fact, I thought that was a good pocket there for Gabe Spire with those lefties coming up with runners on and in scoring position. It just didn't work out, unfortunately. Munoz and Brash do their job. Great assist there from Taveras. Great tag by Cal in the 8th inning. Taveras actually has a pretty good game, collects 3 hits. Taveras and Ben Williamson do their job at the bottom of the order. But, it's starting to just become the Mariners. I mean, the Mariners, by the way, record-wise, what they fall to, I didn't even get to that, 30-25. They do remain in first place in the American League West. I guess each day that goes by is one step closer to the division title. It's just frustrating. I got to tell you, this season's draining me a little bit. It's not even been a bad season. Like overall, last week has been super frustrating, but season as a whole has been bad. But the team has gotten to close to burning me out a little bit, to the point I almost didn't even do this video tonight. Like I'm getting to that. Like, and it's not. I shouldn't say that. I'm not getting to. I was gonna say to the point of not doing. No, I'm here. I'm doing the recaps, but and again, they're in first place. Like there is still a deep breath like aspect to this, and hopefully they can bounce back this weekend. You feel good, Brian Wu on the bump tomorrow for sure. The Twins have kind of always been a thorn in the Mariners' side, so I don't know how the rest of the series will go. You get Bryce Miller back Saturday, and Castillo, who's been really solid on Sunday. So, it's certainly not you shouldn't throw in the towel, but the Mariners look like, unshockingly, the Mariners. A team that is not bad, good. I will maintain, I think it's a good baseball team, but is good enough? And I guess what's your definition of good? Is 85 wins good? Yeah, it's good, but it's not going to move the needle for any of us, right? Like, we're done. We're ready for AL West crown. We're ready for 92, 93 wins. We are ready. And actually, I don't even think we care. I think we just want to win the AL West. I don't think many of us really care how many wins it comes with. Just do it. And the AL West, I think, is mid enough that it's still very possible. Logan Gilbert makes his rehab assignment or rehab start tonight. Probably a couple more for Logan, and we should see him back in the rotation. And it is just so Mariners too, right? That as soon as the rotation starts to get it going a little bit, start pitching better, now the offense is going to drop off. Like, come on. Can we just get it both locked in at the same time? So frustrating, very, very frustrating. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you get that first win on Monday or Tuesday. You just got to find a way to win one. Yeah, truthfully, yesterday's should probably still be more frustrating to people. That was a worse one. You should be winning George Kirby against Trevor Williams. And I said coming in, I thought this was a tricky series. I actually don't think this Nats team is that bad. I actually think they've got a pretty promising future. This is one of the reasons I was worried. They've got a strong left-handed heavy lineup against a very right-handed heavy starting rotation. They have got some, and some of those lefties are mashers, and Wood, Bell, Abrams is good. Lowe's a good player. And, while their bullpen ERA is really high, I think their FIP for their bullpen was good. So they're probably just underperforming a bit. Mackenzie Gore is one of the better starters in the National League in baseball. He's really good. So it's why you had to win yesterday. It's why winning the first game was great. Put you in good position. Had they won yesterday, I mean, they would be frustrating, right, to get it to extras and to lose the way they did. But, you could chalk it up as Gore was good, and, sweeps are hard. But they lay an egg yesterday, and I say it all the time in my recaps. It's sometimes not this game, but it's you put them all together, and then this is just the straw that breaks the camel's back. Now, my back's not broken. I'm not going to come on here and try to give you a pep talk about the team, but everything they want is still right in front of them. But kind of like I said yesterday, it's time to get it going. I don't know what else to say. If Polanco's hurt, he needs to go on the IL because he's been awful this month. Randy has got to step up. He's got to have a big moment in one of those at-bats. The sixth, fine, right? Gore's good. Came back with some tough fastballs. Struck you out. Come through in the eighth then. Come through in the eighth. And again, not even asking for a base hit. Move the runners over. Then maybe a sac fly. And then with Munoz, you probably win that baseball game. Then you get to the 10th, and again, I still can't figure out what Colin Snyder happened there in the 10th inning. That was, it was to the point of almost laughing. But hopefully bounce back tomorrow. Brian Wu on the bump. Always feel pretty good with Wu going. So, if you can come out, win game one there, just get a little bit of the good taste back, back and going here for the ball club. And hopefully it's a better weekend series. I certainly don't, want to say flush it away because, earlier in the year, even the Toronto one, the team was rolling, right? It does happen. These series do happen, but now it's starting to, I'm saying that a lot more now. It's okay to say it once a month, But if I'm saying it 5 out of the last 8 series, something's wrong. And now some of the other, last thing I'll say, some of the other little things now do come back into play, right? Like they swept San Diego. It was great. There's no qualms about that series. The Chicago series, they did not play great ball. But I was able to kind of go, well, they just swept San Diego. They've got a big series with Houston coming up. They still found a way to win 2 out of 3. And it's excusable because they were 5-1 on the road trip. I'm going to yell about that? No. Then they go to lose to Houston. They lose the first, happens, win the second, feel good. You can kind of say, oh, the weekend games were close. They just got snake bit a little bit in the end there. But they're coming home. Maybe they can win the series against Washington, kind of the Astros series. We know it's going to be a battle this year. It's going to be tough. And they lose this one. I can't keep doing it. Team's got to bounce back and get a W. Have a great night, everybody. Sorry for the rant. Just that game frustrated me, and I'm exhausted. It's been a long day, and the fact that I stayed up to watch that makes me angry. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow. I am out of town this weekend, so it might be a cell phone in a hotel room post-game, a small post-game recap tomorrow. So just to let you all know, I'll try to make a post tomorrow as well, just to remind everybody. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Go Mariners. Peace.